Maintenance Safety for Property Management. Presented by Diane Herrera. Texas Mutual Insurance. Diane Herrera at texasmutual.com. Maintenance Safety for Property Management. Presentation 35 minutes. Outline. Maintenance hazards. Prevention and controls. Question and answer at end of presentation 5 minutes. By the end of this presentation you will be able to recognize main safety hazards typical of maintenance personnel for property management. Prevent injury while at work. Slip and fall hazards. Spills and leaks of very slick materials. Oil from cars in parking lots. Or cooking oil on kitchen floors. Spills of soaps, detergents in laundry room, bathrooms or kitchen. Weather-related slip and fall hazards. Rain. Morning dew. Puddles and mold. Ice and snow, black ice on asphalt parking lots and near dumpsters. Slip and fall controls. Mats slip resist or liquid collecting. Proper footwear. Clean spills promptly and post-warning signs. Trip and fall hazard controls. Ensure adequate lighting. Return tools and other items in their proper place. Put deliveries of supplies in its proper place as soon as possible. Declutter by spending time each day, either first thing or end of day, by putting up tools. Taking out the trash. Removing empty boxes and containers. Preventing falls. While you can't prevent all slips, there's plenty you can do to improve your footing. Be here now. Focus on the present and be aware of your surroundings instead of being lost in your thoughts. Fix your blind spots. If you can't see it, you can't avoid tripping over it. Have your eyesight and eyeglasses checked regularly. Boost your balance. Stand with your feet together. Raise 1 foot an inch, hold for 30 seconds. Do this for 10 reps. Repeat with your other foot. The art of falling safely. Step 1. Stay bent. The moment you sense you've lost your balance, get ready to fall with bent elbows and knees. When people panic, they become rigid. Never reach out with locked arms. Bend your elbows and have some give in your arms to soften the impact. When you're rigid, you're more likely to suffer a set of injuries called FOOSH. Doctors speak for fall on outstretched hand. The result is often a broken wrist or elbow. The art of falling safely. Step 2. Protect your head. If you're falling forward, be sure to turn your face to the side. Falling backward? Then tuck your chin to your chest so your head doesn't hit the ground. The art of falling safely. Step 3. Land on the meat. One of the things practiced for stunt or martial arts falls is landing on meaty parts of your body. The muscles in your back, butt or thighs. Not bone. If you keep your knees and elbows bent and look to land on muscle, you'll be less likely to crack your elbows, knees, tailbone or hips. The art of falling safely. Step 4. Keep falling. Your instinct will be to stop your body as quickly as you can. But your safest route is to keep rolling. Indeed, the more you give into the fall, the safer it will be. Spread the impact across a larger part of your body. Don't concentrate impact on one area. The more you roll with the fall, the safer you will be. To prevent or minimize injury during or from a fall, consider practicing martial arts techniques for falling. Ladder safety and preventing falls. Hazard assessment. Perform a hazard assessment for the task to be carried out. Establish the proper and safe access to the work platform. Select the right type and size of ladder for the job, assuring load capacity is not exceeded. Do not use metal ladders for electrical work or in places where the potential for contact with electrical lines exists. Watch out for overhead power lines. Ladders must be selected based on hazards and tasks. Ladders require maintenance in order to function properly. Stepladders and extension ladders require different inspection criteria and maintenance. If a ladder is neglected, it may become unsafe to use. It is important that ladders are inspected prior to each use and repaired periodically. Length of ladders. Stepladder users must be able to reach 4 feet from the top of the ladder while standing on the second step from the top. Extension ladders must be 7 to 10 feet longer than the vertical distance to the highest contact point on a structure. Ladder duty rating. These are the types of ladders with maximum load capacity. Light duty, type 3. 200 pounds. Medium duty, type 2. 225 pounds. Heavy duty, type 1. 250 pounds. Extra heavy duty, type 1-A. 300 pounds. Special duty, type 1-AA. £375. Ladder setup and inspection. Check the ladder for damage and defects before use. Do not use ladders on soft ground or slippery flooring. Secure ladders appropriately. Extension ladders must be tied off or held in place by another worker. Get help when moving large ladders. Set up ladders in safe and stable conditions. Check for overhead power lines. Do not rest ladders on glass or other weak surfaces. If you are working in an area near people or vehicles, restrict access. Clearly post, barricade, and, as needed, have an assistant stay at the base of the ladder to keep it clear. Place the ladder near your workspace. Assure that extension ladders extend at least 3 feet above the highest support point. Angle extension ladders properly, with a 4:1 ratio. Seek help if a ladder is too heavy or awkward to place correctly on your own. Do not use ladders as a work platform. Place non-self-supporting ladders so that both rails have equal support. Secure extension ladders appropriately at top and at bottom of the ladder. Safe use of ladders. Climb a ladder by holding onto the rails and not the steps. Climb facing the ladder with your body centered between the rails. Note, for stair-type platform ladders, you may descend facing forward. Do not twist your body while climbing. Use a 3-point stance with at least 3 extremities attached to the ladder. Do not climb with hands full of gear. Put any materials you need to take up a ladder into a tool bag. Use hand lines or hoists to lift and lower heavy objects. Allow only one person on a ladder at a time. Do not move or extend the ladder while occupied. Fully open step ladders. Keep the area around the bottom and top of the ladder free of debris. Do not step on the top step of stepladders. Safety at heights and preventing falls. Be careful when working on roofs. Careful on flat roofs by knowing where the end is. Know how to work on sloped roofs. Wear proper shoes from slipping and harness on stepping on skylights on the roof can make you fall through. Work in attics. Know where are the beams if there is no floor. You may accidentally step on sheet rock and fall through. Be careful of ducts and vents. And working on different types of floors. Safety on roofs. For any unprotected sides and edges such as roofs, the federal regulation states. The employer must ensure that each employee on a walking working surface with an unprotected side or edge that is 4 feet (1.2 meters) or more above a lower level is protected from falling by one or more of the following: guardrail systems, safety net systems, or personal fall protection systems such as personal fall arrest, travel restraint, or positioning systems. Safety at heights and preventing falls. Personal fall protection use training requirements. The employer must train each employee who will use a personal fall arrest harness and lanyard in at least the following topics: the nature of the fall hazards in the work area and how to recognize them, the procedures to be followed to minimize those hazards, the correct procedures for installing, inspecting, operating, maintaining, and disassembling the personal fall protection systems that the employee uses, and the correct use of personal fall protection systems and equipment, including, but not limited to, proper hookup, anchoring, and tie-off techniques, and methods of equipment inspection and storage, as specified by the manufacturer. The employer must train each employee in the proper care, inspection, storage, and use of equipment covered by this subpart before an employee uses the equipment. The employer must retrain an employee when the employer has reason to believe the employee does not have the understanding and skill required for the tasks. Tool hazards. Use the right size tool and type of tool for the task. For power saw safety training, the power tool safety training videos at the following link are useful. Power tool hazards. Wear protective gear, eye protection, face protection, gloves, steel-toe shoes. Lockout tagout procedure. What is lockout tagout? Controlling unexpected energy or preventing accidental startup of machine or equipment while it is being serviced or repaired. Hazards of powered equipment. Hazards of powered machinery and equipment. Almost 200,000 workers are injured every year in machinery or equipment-related accidents. Hazards within machinery include both rotating and sliding, reciprocating movements, electric current, and hot elements that can cause severe burns. Rotating machinery can grab loose hair, jewelry such as necklaces, rings or bracelets, loose clothing, or fingers can get caught between and be crushed or amputated. Sliding. Automatic gates slide sideways with great force. These motions can strike, pinch, crush, and chop misplaced fingers, hands, and arms. Shock, burn or electrocution. Electrically powered equipment may have sufficient electric current within to seriously injure or kill a person if accidentally touched. Electrical safety. Energized systems. Maintenance must not work on electrical fixtures, appliances, etc. when they are energized, unless appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE) is used and there is an energized work permit procedure in place. Lockout-tagout procedures must be in place, and either the authorized staff or affected staff, as appropriate, must be trained on them. When repairing or replacing light fixtures, light switches, electrical outlets, electrical appliances, automatic gates, etc., use non-conducting tools. Be sure circuits are dead before working. Lock and tag source breakers, not switches. Be sure all control power is de-energized. Discharge all capacitors after lockout. Here is an example of a powered sliding equipment. Here is an example of not powering down or doing a lockout-tagout to a power equipment such as light fixtures. If you do not lockout-tag out the breaker, then someone can turn the power back on while you are repairing the equipment, causing you to get shocked and fall or even die. Chemical safety. Potential health problems caused by cleaning chemicals. Many factors influence whether a cleaning chemical will cause health problems. Whether mists, vapors and/or gases are released, chemicals in some cleaning products can be irritating to the skin or can cause rashes. Cleaning products that contain corrosive chemicals can cause severe burns if splashed on the skin or in the eyes. Safe work practices when using cleaning chemicals include the following. Do not mix cleaning products that contain bleach and ammonia. Know which cleaning chemicals must be diluted and how to correctly dilute the cleaners in use. Do not use any product that contains methylene chloride. Here is a sample of a chemical safety sheet. Read the label on any products you are using that you have never used before. These are universal pictograms to warn of the different types of hazards for chemicals. Blood-borne pathogen safety. What are blood-borne pathogens? Blood-borne pathogens are pathogenic microorganisms that may be present in human blood and can cause disease in humans. Pathogens found in blood and OPM include the following. Human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, which causes AIDS, hepatitis B virus, HBV, hepatitis C virus, HCV, syphilis, and malaria. There are many blood-borne pathogens, so avoid bodily fluid exposure by wearing proper protective gloves when cleaning. Work practice controls. These are the steps to take in order to complete job tasks safely and reduce the likelihood of exposure to blood-borne pathogens. Covering any cuts or abrasions, especially those near your hands. Not touching the face or mouth when a potentially infectious material is present. Not eating, drinking, smoking or applying cosmetics, including lip balm when a potentially infectious material is present. Following universal precautions. Employees should assume that all human blood is infectious and wear appropriate gloves when handling waste, trash or other potentially contaminated items. Inform your supervisor if a potential exposure has occurred. There are steps that can be taken to prevent the onset of disease such as hepatitis B. Infectious and communicable disease safety. How to avoid getting sick. Maintain healthy habits. Get 7 to 8 hours sleep a night. Eat your vegetables and fruits daily. Vitamin C from food is the best kind. Get some sunshine. The darker your skin, the longer you will have to stay in the sun to get sufficient amount of vitamin D, or ask your doctor about vitamin D supplements. Get your minerals. Calcium, magnesium, zinc. Nuts are a good source for minerals. Other sources are legumes, dairy and meats. Wash your hands frequently and avoid touching your face or eyes. Your eyes especially. Consider wearing eye protection all the time. Wear face masks when in public areas or working in the same room as others for more than 5 minutes. Wash or disinfect your mask regularly. For those of you who perspire a lot, you may have to change out your mask several times per day. Maintain a distance of 6 feet or more from other people whenever possible. Open windows in rooms for fresh air whenever possible and turn on vents in bathrooms and kitchens. If you know or suspect someone is sick, do not go into their room. Close their door and ask them to keep windows open until you have left the unit. Use the highest rated air filters on central air conditioning unit. Sanitize frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs and faucet handles regularly. Do not shake hands as a greeting or otherwise get within 6 feet when greeting a person. Security. Report odd behavior to your supervisor, manager or HR team. Communicate worrisome situations or suspicious activities. If you feel threatened, arrange to walk into and out of work with a group. Work with local law enforcement to protect everyone from risk. Fire and emergency evacuation. Newer buildings burn much faster these days. Most deaths are due to smoke inhalation. It is important to evacuate as soon as you receive warning of a fire. Have an emergency evacuation plan ready and known. First aid tips. Each location will have a first aid kit for employees. To minimize the pain of minor strains and sprains, ice the injury at 20-minute intervals with 40-minute rests of no ice between intervals. The sooner the injury is iced, the less the swelling and inflammation of the area of the injury. Report all injuries to your supervisor. Keep cuts, scrapes, scratches clean and covered. Use a clean Band-Aid daily. How to lift safely. Proper lifting posture when lifting from floor level. Keep back straight, don't hunch. When lifting, how far forward a person bends for a squat to lift will depend on the individual's pelvic stability, flexibility and tightness of hamstring muscles. Keeping one leg apart but slightly behind the other when bending and squatting to lift will encourage you to use your leg muscles for lifting and not your low back. Watch angle of knees, keep it 90 degrees or greater to avoid knee strain. Avoid rounding the back as you move and stand up. Avoid twisting neck or torso while lifting. Face forward in a neutral posture with head up. Keep item close in when grabbing and when moving and as you lift. Lift weight with the legs, think of doing a squat or lunge. Use your gluteus and thigh muscles to lift. Avoid overreaching while lifting. When lifting, move item close into the body as much as possible. The further away the item is from your body when lifting, the heavier it will seem, that is, the less weight one will be able to lift. Keep the item close in during the entire lift. Know your lifting weight limit. Consider frequency of the lift too. You may be able to lift 100 pounds once, but can you lift it 5 times in a row? Consider your overall state of health too. Are you stressed from personal issues? Had a lot of overtime lately? Dehydrated from hot weather? Didn't get a good night's sleep? Been on vacation with little activity? These factors can affect how much weight you can safely lift. Get help when needed. Offer help too, especially to new coworkers who may be too timid to ask for help at first. Plan the lift. Decide if you will need assistance, a cart, dolly or lift assist device. Avoid awkward postures when lifting, especially when lifting items that may not be heavy but are oddly shaped or bulky. Get help lifting these types of items. Whenever you are going to deliver items at places with unknown terrain's hazards, decide and check out your path first before moving an item to ensure there are no holes in the ground or other obstacles. If you need to move a stack or pile items, it is doubly important to plan your lift. That is, the order and method of removing each item safely. Especially bundles of pipe. Items stacked leaning against each other. Heavy items being rolled like tires, etc. Boxes stacked on top of each other. Planning the lift. When 2 or more persons are lifting an item together, or one is handing it off to another person, especially from above to below, be sure to consider what options are available. If the person below loses his or her grip on the item being transferred, or if the item is too heavy for that person to safely lift, do not throw or toss items up or below. Use dollies, pallet jack, carts or lift assist devices as often as possible, even when the item is not that heavy, and especially with bulky items. Avoid twisting while lifting. Pivot the feet and body to turn. Not pivoting feet is a common poor movement habit when loading and unloading dollies or carts. If you must twist because the position of the item can't be changed, be sure the weight is lighter than your normal capability and get help. If a lift requires some twisting, do a forward bend afterwards to realign the spine. Avoid lifting using just one side of the body, as this creates muscle imbalances over a period of time. If you must lift, push or pull with only one side of the body, alternate the sides that are used so muscle imbalances do not develop. Use a step stool or step ladder for placing items on an area that is above shoulder height. Get assistance with the item while on the ladder. Ideally, have someone hand you the item once you are in place on the ladder or stool. Warm up muscles on cold days before lifting heavy items, for example, 25 jumping jacks or a brisk walk around the block. A back support belt can serve as a reminder to keep the back straight while lifting. Remember, it does not help you lift more weight. A back support belt should not be used while the worker is doing other activities and not lifting. A back support belt is usually not recommended for individuals with hypertension or circulation problems. If there is a health concern, the worker should consult with his or her physician before using a back support belt. You can help each other prevent back injuries. Help your co-workers with reminders if you see them lifting improperly. Remember, they can't see their own posture and may not be aware of their curved or twisted back while lifting. It takes constant reminders to undo habitual movements that may injure the back. Offer help when you see someone struggling. This concludes our maintenance safety training. If you have questions, please ask your manager, HR, or supervisor. Thanks and be safe.